So is autonomous driving for real? You see a lot of debate about that online. We're going to answer the question right now. And this will be a conclusive answer. So a lot of what you hear about autonomous vehicles generally, whether they're robo-taxis, self-driving cars, or trucks, is all opinion. The only previous example, previous to right now, of real research-driven evaluation of self-driving is the Insurance Institute of America. I talked about that on another video where they benchmarked accident data between human drivers and self-driving vehicles, and it showed that self-driving vehicles were much safer. Now, that was a somewhat limited data set in the sense that the Insurance Institute of America could only opine on accidents reported to them by insurance companies, right? So there is a data issue there. Not anymore. So you may or may not be aware of this, but information processed in scientific journals traditionally has been rigorously vetted. It goes through what is called a peer review process, meaning other people who did not publish the original study tried to replicate the same results that the original group got, and were able to replicate them and determine that those results were valid. So this is how science generally proceeds. Now, there has been a little rash of some issues in some lower quality scientific journals, but not the major ones. Well, here comes an article in Nature Communications, which is a major scientific periodical. This article is extremely technical, so I'm going to boil it down quite a bit. The article is called A Matched Case Control Analysis of Autonomous versus Human-Driven Vehicle Accidents. So this research comes out of the University of Central Florida, the Smart and Safe Transportation Lab, and the two guys who did the research said, we investigated the difference in accident occurrence between autonomous vehicle levels and human-driven vehicles by utilizing 2,100 advanced driving systems and advanced driver assistance systems accident reports. So that's 2,100 accident reports over many years, and 35,113 human-driven vehicles accident data. So the reason they call this a match case control is they look for similar accidents, exact same circumstances with traffic, weather, everything, only difference being humans versus autonomous vehicles. So this is a very realistic analysis, and what they say at the beginning, to sum it up, is cars with advanced driving systems are generally significantly safer than human drivers. There are two exceptions: dawn-dusk conditions when light is poor, and turning conditions in heavy traffic. So those are the only two circumstances where humans are still better than autonomous vehicles, but it clearly shows where autonomous vehicles still need to improve. Automation of systems has been experiencing rapid development and has brought about a revolution in the transportation industry. It is anticipated that automation of systems will significantly reduce the number of accidents, as human errors contribute to over 90% of accidents. So check this out. According to findings from the RAND Corporation, a mere advancement in safety features in the initial release of AVs can yield significant life-saving results. The research suggests that if AVs were to be introduced with an average safety level only 10% higher than that of the typical human driver, approximately 600,000 fatalities could be averted in the U.S. over a span of 35 years. So that's a huge reduction in fatal accidents. Now, the period predicted is a long time period, but that doesn't really matter, does it? So AV testing on the roads of California has been permitted for many years now. That's where they got this detailed database of accidents, both human and autonomous vehicles, from the California DMV. There's many potential benefits of AVs on traffic safety, such as a reduction in human error, reduced fatigue, and distraction. For example, Tesla Autopilot consistently maintains a closer distance to the lane center than human drivers do. So Tesla Autopilot is already much better than humans at staying in the middle of the lane. Additionally, level 3 or higher levels of automation can further enhance traffic by reducing accidents, improving mobility for the disabled and elderly, and minimizing traffic collisions through efficient driving and the reduction of human error. So they did talk about these two areas where AVs need improvement, and what they say is there's a need for reliable sensing and perception, robust decision-making algorithms, and fail-safe mechanisms to override the system. The one other situation where accidents seem to happen is in work zones. Fatal accidents involving Google cars are lower than that of human-driven vehicles, with no fatalities occurring during the period analyzed from 2009 to 2015. 0 fatalities. Additionally, in Mountain View, California, Google cars demonstrated a significantly lower rate of police reportable accidents per million miles driven compared to human drivers. So what is the most frequent type of AV accident? It's a rear end, where the car doesn't stop before it bumps into the car in front of it. So here's another eye-opener. With AV cars, pedestrians are part of an accident only 3% of the time, whereas for human-driven vehicles, HDVs, pedestrians are involved in 15% of accidents. And I've told you guys how 40,000 plus people are hit every single year by cars as pedestrians in New York City. It's stunning. So like I said, there's a lot of technical stuff in this article I'm going to skip. The analysis also shows that 79% of rear-end accidents involve human-driven vehicles hitting an autonomous vehicle, meaning the human is at fault. Furthermore, the majority of accidents involving autonomous vehicles hitting a human-driven vehicle occur when both vehicles are in conventional mode, meaning the autonomy is off. So then they go into, there's really two different types of autonomy. ADAS, which is Advanced Driver Assistance Systems, is primarily designed for the highway, where ADS, Autonomous Driving Systems, is designed for complex urban environments. The next conclusion, the research indicates a lower likelihood of an autonomous vehicle accident in rainy weather compared to human-driven vehicles. As I mentioned, at dawn dusk, AVs do worse, autonomous vehicles. This could be attributed to the sensors and cameras used by AVs not being able to quickly adapt to changing lighting conditions. That is something that clearly can be fixed over time. Next finding. The finding indicates that AVs may detect and react to potential rear-end and sideswipe accident situations much faster than humans can. Next finding, in terms of pre-accident conditions, most of the pre-accident movements made by ADS reduce the probability of accidents, meaning autonomous vehicles avoid many accidents, except for turning. And they say one reason for that may be a lack of complete situational awareness, i.e. everything around the car. And they say particularly, these systems may not detect all obstacles and hazards in complex and dynamic driving scenarios like turning at intersections. That again can be fixed. The one thing they point out is that AVs can cause people to hit them because they are a bit overcautious. And then they talk about a situation where cars run off the road, which is often fatal for human-driven vehicles. Remarkably, ADS accident risk is 0.021 times as high as that of a human-driven vehicle accident in a run-off-the-road condition, meaning that AVs only run off the road 2% as often as humans do. That's almost completely eliminating that hazard. Furthermore, according to the analysis, the model using accidents of autonomous vehicles showed a decreased probability of accidents for moderate and fatal severity in comparison to human-driven vehicles. So while autonomous vehicles get into accidents, they're much less severe. It can be concluded that ADS in general is safer than humans in most driving scenarios. Improving the safety of ADS under dawn, dusk, or turning conditions takes a holistic approach that involves advanced sensors, robust algorithms, and smart design considerations. So there's much more to this article, but that's the gist of it. Peer-reviewed, proven scientifically, human-driven vehicles are much less safe than autonomous vehicles. So this debate is now over, and it's a huge reason why governments should and probably will pursue increasing autonomy on the roads, because the severity of accidents is reduced and many, many lives will be saved. So thanks so much for tuning in. If you like this video, please like, subscribe, and share. Also, please support us on Patreon. We need your financial support to be able to go to TED AI in October and other cutting-edge conferences and bring you live, breaking, human-impacting advancements in AI. Thanks so much. Take care. Bye.